and welcome back to Otaku no Video, where I'm really tired. I've had a really weird week and a very stressful day tomorrow, starting a new job tomorrow. But I want to get the news out to you, so I don't have too much time to make this. I'm going to be putting this together in a somewhat more limited fashion than usual. I won't have all the beautiful graphics on the side that I usually do, but I'll try to get this out as quickly as I can. So let's get on to the news in the anime and manga world this week. Some interesting stuff going on. First off, Studio Ghibli's Tales from Earthsea has premiered in US theaters this weekend. It earned a total of $20,000, but it only showed in 5 theaters. So that's a total of about $4,000 per theater, which is pretty good, all things considered. Mid-range. I mean, it's not a summer blockbuster number, but that's pretty cool. Earthsea is a film by Hayao Miyazaki's son, Goro Miyazaki. Came out a couple years ago in Japan. And it's a really solid fantasy film, based on the Earthsea novels by Ursula K. Le Guin. And I've seen it. I really enjoyed it. I should do a review of that. That would be a good thing to do. So hopefully that will come out soon. Anyway, you can go see it if you're lucky enough to be near one of the theaters that's actually showing it. Hopefully they'll at some point expand it into more. Meanwhile, in manga news, Tokyo Pop has put the Hitalia Manga Volume 1 on the Zinio reader, which is an e-publication, sort of like an electronic magazine reader available for Windows, Mac OS, iPod, iPhone, iPod Touch, all that kind of good stuff. So you can get Hitalia digitally. They'll also be releasing it in actual printed dead tree form shipping on September 21st. But it's out there now. It's kind of interesting. Not a lot of manga available electronically. And I kind of like this idea of releasing it digitally quicker, because presumably, when you're doing all the translations and so forth, you're working off digital files. So you can probably release it digitally quicker before the print version is available. So if you want to grab it, if you want to be like the first person on your block to read it, you can download it digitally, wait for the physical version. Kind of neat idea. Tokyo Pop's released other graphic novels on the Zinio service, but only Gravitation and Princess Ai they're the only Japanese language, or the Japanese original ones. Others are, I think there's some Korean stuff, and there's a lot of Amerimanga on there as well. But hopefully this will be a trend to get more manga available in other formats. Back to anime, Crunchyroll made a surprising announcement. They've licensed Makoto Shinkai's 5 centimeters per second for DVD release. That's right, Crunchyroll is going to be releasing a DVD of 5 centimeters per second. Planning on doing it in late September, early October, using a Bang Zoom Entertainment dub in English, along with Japanese and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, first time Crunchyroll is actually going to do this kind of thing. Kind of odd. If you're not familiar, 5 centimeters per second is by Makoto Shinkai, who did Voices of a Distant Star, Place Promise in Our Early Days, other stuff like that. 5 centimeters is a series of 3 interconnected love stories, and very sweet and gorgeous. Fantastic artwork. Amazing. If you get a chance, watch it. Good stuff. I think I've done reviews of 5 centimeters per second here. I know we did it at one point, at least for the podcast. So, good stuff. Meanwhile, Funimation has licensed Gare Zero. Now, for those of you who watched Ronald's Saturday streams, he mentioned Gare Zero was streaming on Funimation.com's site, but it hadn't been licensed yet. Well, they finally announced the license for Gare Zero. They licensed the entire show, all 12 episodes, and but only the first 2 episodes are available on Funimation.com just yet. It's basically a supernatural action series, lots of fighting, things like that. And there are some surprises in the show, which is nice. So that's out there and available. Dragon Ball Z Kai is now showing on American television. That's right. If you tune in on the CW on Saturday mornings, actually yesterday, on Saturday rather, they started showing Dragon Ball Z Kai on Toonzai on the CW. I think it's on the CW. Yeah. And if you're not familiar with Dragon Ball Z Kai, is basically a re-editing of the original Dragon Ball Z to cut out all the filler and more closely follow the original manga. So apparently it's a much tighter, much easier to watch version of Dragon Ball Z. And that's that. It's all been cleaned up somewhat from what I can tell. So you can check that out on Toonzai, which is totally not trying to rip off Toonami. Meanwhile, over in Japan, Kyoto Animation has finally started off one of its new projects, which is called the KyoAni Original Project Initiative. This is basically an attempt by them to get some folks within Kyoto Animation to make more original stuff and get it out to audiences. And the idea is basically original creators inside Kyoto Animation can make short films, animation-wise, that'll be released publicly on Kyoto Animation's website. Kind of like the Pixar short films, only on the web. The first one is up. It's called KyoAni Sisters, and you can check it out on kyotoanimation.co.jp, which is pretty cool. Hopefully more of those will be coming. Moving on, got some Blu-ray disc rankings over in Japan for August 2nd through 8th. Here are the top-selling Blu-ray discs in Japan. Starting with Katanagatari, Volume 5. K-On! Season 2, Volume 1, which continues to do very well. Seitokai Yaku in Domo, Volume 1. Bakemonogatari, Volume 6, the last volume of that show. Summer War Standard Edition, Bakato Test, Volume 4. And Arakawa Under the Bridge, Volume 2. Those are all the anime in the top 10 amongst all Japanese Blu-ray discs. So as you can tell, most of the top 10 are anime, and thus it looks like otaku are sort of leading the charge on Blu-ray in Japan. Meanwhile, some interesting translation news. Alex Levitt, or Leavitt, who's an internet researcher, said on his blog that he's been contacted by the folks behind a Japanese fanzine called Animerica. Animerca. And they want him to translate their articles into English. And so it looks like they're actually going to do an English language version of their fanzine, which would be kind of neat. He's working on an article about Toonami, which deserves more attention, actually. Meanwhile, translator Dan Kanemitsu is translating a doujinshi for North American publication. He was contacted by the original creators of this doujinshi for this translation. Apparently they want to actually publish it over here in America. It's a Strike Witches doujinshi, not hentai, called The Witches of the Sphinx Volume 2, The Water Pipe from the Bazaar. No idea what that is. And apparently it's going to be released over here. Now, the writer is actually worked on the Strike Witches anime staff. So it'll be interesting to see how all of the licensing works on that. And I'll be curious to see how doujinshi sells in America, since I think this is the first time a legit doujinshi has been released over here in America for public consumption. And I know there were one or two hentai doujinshi that were released over here as just straight hentai manga with all the names changed. It wasn't actually, it wasn't actually those characters. It was just characters that looked just like those characters, with different names. So who knows? Interesting experiment. Finally, singer Hikaru Utada in J-pop news has announced she's going on an indefinite hiatus starting in 2011. She's going to finish releasing her current project, which is a single collection. So she'll release the second volume of that, finish that up at the end of the year. But she said that she feels like there's a part inside of her that stopped growing when she got into the music industry, back when she was 15 years old. So she wants to take a break, go off. She said she doesn't know how long this is going to take. Could be the rest of her life, for all we know. So she's done a lot of really impressive work for anime over the years. She did that beautiful song called A Beautiful World for Evangelion 1.11, the song used in the full trailer. She also did the redone version of Fly Me to the Moon for that same movie, and she's done a lot of her songs have been used as openings and ending theme songs for anime. So I wish her all the best. She's been doing some great work, and I'm sure she's done well enough, though, that she can certainly relax for a while. So that's all the news fit to print this week. Until next time, stop by the forum. The new forum, otakunovideo.net/forum, has a lot of interesting discussions about anime and such. And there's also the blog at otakunovideo.net. You can shoot me an email at brent@otakunovideo.net or tweet me on Twitter at otakunovideo. So thanks for watching. Until next time, be cool.